Let's talk about grief today. Not the type of grief that you get a sympathy card for. Not the type of grief that the world really understands. I mean the grief of losing a face or losing a body you are familiar with. The type of grief that the world doesn't know where to place it. The type of grief of waking up with a condition or with an illness, with a weight gain, or simply a hormonal change in your body. I'm talking about the type of grief of you grieving yourself, the former person before the surgery, the person before the illness, the face that you were used to, the normal, as people would say. Normally, the world doesn't even give us permission to grieve that. Sometimes it's as if they're rushing you to be okay. But the truth is that that grief is so real. And it's okay for you to grieve. It's okay for you to grieve your former self, the body you once had, the old life you once had. Today I want us to talk a bit deeper into that. If you're new here, my name is Jillian Kota, and you can follow me on my socials. I talk about life beyond the mirror. I share my lived experiences of living with a condition that started when I was 12, changed how I look, and how I overcame it, and how I prospered just to become this person. So welcome to the family of besties. So back to the topic. So when my face started atrophying over the years and everything was changing right in front of me. My face was atrophying, the eye was getting sunken. My changes were gradual over the years. But unbelievably, either you believe this or not, nobody told me anything about grief. Like nobody mentioned anything about me grieving my older self. Instead, people told me about acceptance. They told me about loving myself. They told me about getting over it. They told me just about moving on. And God, I tried. I tried to move on. I tried to accept myself. I tried to love myself. But I was doing the wrong thing at the right time. At that point, what I needed to do was to grieve. That's what I needed to do. Before anything else, before screaming affirmations, I needed to acknowledge the change, grieve the old, and get a chance to acquaint myself with the new me. So over the years, I've observed that the self-love industry, or maybe let me call it the personal development industry, they treat grief as if it's the opposite of healing, as if you can't grieve and heal at the same time, as if you can't accept yourself once you grieve. It's mostly as if mourning and self-compassion can simply not coexist. But the truth is that those things can coexist at the same time. You can learn how to be compassionate towards yourself, yet you give yourself permission to grieve. People always find it strange when I say that I still grieve things about my face. I believe that compassion and grief, kindness and grief, I believe those things totally coexist. And people don't believe me when I tell them that. I'm at so much peace with grief, such that I still grieve parts of my face. I still grieve the type of situations that my face has costed me. I still grieve the life I would have had if I had a fuller face. But at the same time, I'm somebody who treats myself with kindness. I talk to myself like somebody I love. I talk to myself in a beautiful way, in such a way that I talk to another child. I still treat myself with so much compassion, and I still treat myself with so much dignity, because mourning or grieving doesn't mean I should treat myself in a very demeaning way. And honestly, today, if you're watching this and you've had your face change, your body change, something happened to you that altered your outlook in life, I want to tell you that kindness and grief can coexist. What I want to offer you today is permission. Permission that it's okay for you to grieve. Permission that you can grieve while you learn to treat yourself with kindness. And I always tell people that you cannot push it from grief to self-love. It doesn't work like that. That's what induces self-hate, because When people just tell you to scream affirmations at the wall, or they just tell you to love yourself, so if you can't do it, you end up hating yourself because you feel like you're failing yourself. So I give you permission today to grieve the things that you could have had if your life would have turned out the way you would have turned out before. I want to give you permission today that it's okay to grieve the nose you could have had if your condition had not attacked you. It's okay to grieve the body that you could have had if you didn't have babies, if you wouldn't have a little bit saggy belly. It's totally fine for you to grieve and still treat yourself with kindness. I wish somebody had given me permission to grieve. Permission to say, this is totally fine. This is okay for you to grieve the life you would have had while you're still treating yourself with dignity. So right now, it's okay for you to ask me, how do I grieve? How exactly do I do the grieving in all of this? And I want to tell you that it's as simple as acknowledging the grief, naming it. Naming it means you saying, I'm sad. I'm sad about the face I could have had. I'm sad about the nose I could have had. I'm sad about how people treat me because of what happened. When you name it, you disarm it. And after you've named it, it's okay for you to think about how life would have been like if you had that. I genuinely encourage people to journal this, because as you journal, as you write it down, it's as if you're floating into a piece of paper. And once you've named it, once you've acknowledged it, once you have said it out loud or written it down, I promise you it kind of feels better. And after naming it, acknowledging it, and writing it down, I want to challenge you to extend an act of kindness to yourself. I didn't say self-love. I didn't say acceptance. I don't want you to jump from grief to self-love. Remember, that's what I said. I want you to just extend one act of kindness, just one little act of kindness, an act of compassion for somebody who had gone through a lot, an act of kindness, something just small, just for today. And on days that you feel sad, on days that you feel ugly, it's okay to grieve. It's okay to name it. Name the feeling. I'm feeling sad for my teeth that turned out this way. And the next thing is for you to write it down. Acknowledge that I feel my smile would have been better if I had the other teeth that were straight, that were not protruding out of my mouth. And after that, it's okay to treat yourself with kindness. It's okay to give yourself a treat. After writing it down, it always feels better. I can promise you that. And as we end this chapter, I want to tell you that don't let anybody rush you. Don't let anybody tell you to just get over it or just be okay or diminish the weight of what you're feeling. Because the minute somebody diminishes the weight of what you're feeling, it doesn't give you permission to exist in it and to be truthful about how you're feeling. I don't want you to brush aside just to make others feel comfortable as well. I want you to pause, spend time by yourself, grieve it, write it, name it, then be kind to yourself. Then treat yourself with kindness. And buy yourself something nice. Be kind to yourself. If you're in the UK and looking for natural skincare or little hamper packages, you can simply contact me on Instagram, or you can simply click on my website below and shop some natural handcrafted items that I make